Part 3. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wu Nian. Chapter 21. Killer whales are the overlords of the ocean. It will take some time to turn killer whales into a killer whale buffet. For now, it is better to be timid. The tuna group has been eaten almost, where to go next? Chen Mu was thinking about this question. At this time, Chen Mu found a bunch of things through the great white shark's inductive ability. The location of those things made Chen Mu a little curious. Most of the creatures that Chen Mu sensed through inductance were located in the sea, but the location of those creatures was on the sea, above the sea surface. At the same time, when Chen Mu paid attention to the group of creatures, he inexplicably had a different impulse, that is, the impulse to eat. In other words, those are food. Are they familiar food for great white sharks? Chen Mu became interested. Creatures of the size of great white sharks are not interested in those small fish and shrimps. If they are interested, it must be delicious food with high fat and high energy. Compared with running around to find, of course, it is much better to go to these visible foods that great white sharks are interested in. Chen Mu didn't think much and began to swim towards that direction. On the way, Chen Mu noticed the floating ice nearby through his conscious vision. Floating ice? Am I at the South Pole or the North Pole? But why don't I feel cold? Not only did he not feel cold, but Chen Mu also felt very comfortable. Floating ice can be seen on the sea surface, which means it is very cold. In this case, Chen Mu didn't feel cold at all, which was incredible for Chen Mu, who was originally a human. But in fact, Chen Mu didn't know. The great white shark has a unique ability. The great white shark can keep itself warm. It has a way to control its body temperature at around 25 degrees Celsius, and its body temperature can be more than 10 degrees higher than the water temperature. The reason why it can do this is that the arteries and veins in the great white shark are distributed in parallel in various parts of its body. In this way, the heat generated by the muscles when the great white shark moves will be stored in the body instead of being lost to the ocean. This is why Chen Mu doesn't feel cold and feels very comfortable. As time went by, Chen Mu finally saw his target, this time through his conscious vision. In front of Chen Mu was a snow-covered coast. On the coast, groups of seals were lying on the coast to rest. So the creatures I sensed were seals. Chen Mu saw those plump seals. His mind automatically thought of the fat in the seals' bodies, and he only felt an urge to eat. Great white sharks prefer high-fat creatures. For high-fat creatures, for great white sharks, these seals in front of them are undoubtedly delicious. These seals look delicious, but the question is, how can I eat them? Chen Mu thought while swimming. He can use his ability to change into other creatures, but the problem is that the only creatures that Chen Mu can go ashore are starfish. It is estimated that turning into a starfish and going ashore is not to hunt seals, but to feed seals. In other words, if you want to hunt these seals, you have to wait for these seals to come down to find food. That's a waste of time. Wait a minute. That's right, the ability to control. I can control these seals and make them come down and feed themselves into my mouth. I'm so smart. Chen Mu was suddenly excited. Something's wrong. Wait a minute. Suddenly, when Chen Mu was about to eat, he suddenly sensed something approaching through the inductor. He opened his consciousness and looked in that direction. At first glance, he saw a group of 6 great white sharks patrolling nearby. They seemed to have discovered Chen Mu, but they didn't care. Instead, they patrolled casually, probably waiting for the seals to go to the sea. Seeing the 6 great white sharks, Chen Mu's eyes lit up. Food. Chen Mu swam impatiently and approached the group of great white sharks. The group of great white sharks saw Chen Mu approaching here. The leading great white shark said, "Brother, are you here to hunt seals too?" Chen Mu heard it for the first time. Each species has its own way of communicating. The system obviously helped Chen Mu establish a unique way to communicate with other species. It allowed Chenmu to bypass those complex communication methods, directly understand the language of creatures, and let the creatures know what he wanted to convey. However, since Chenmu became a great white shark, he has not encountered a great white shark that greeted him. Chenmu said, "No." The great white shark said, "No. If not, what are you doing here?" The great white shark looked at Chenmu in confusion. Chenmu said, "I'm here to find food." "Find food? We are also here to find food. Isn't the most delicious food here seals?" the great white shark said puzzledly. Chenmu swam while looking at the 6 great white sharks in front of him. Among the 6 great white sharks, 4 are smaller than Chenmu, and 2 are larger than Chenmu. The great white shark that talked to Chenmu is the largest one. Chenmu was thinking, if the 2 great white sharks that are currently bigger than Chenmu are only 1 circle bigger than Chenmu, after Chenmu swallows those 4, he will be able to surpass them. Thinking of this, Chenmu said, "Of course not, seals are too difficult to catch, and it's too troublesome to catch them. I do know that there is a kind of food nearby. Although it's not so delicious, it's better in quantity." "Oh," the leading great white shark seemed a little interested, "is there?" "Where?" Chenmu said, "You, aren't you?" The great white shark was stunned for a moment, and its expression became a little angry. "Are you tired of living?" The other 5 great white sharks were also angry and immediately pounced on Chenmu. Chenmu looked and turned around and ran. These 6 great white sharks are hugging too tightly now. If Chenmu forced his way in, he would probably be broken into several pieces. So, Chenmu had to run first. 6 great white sharks chasing a great white shark. If this scene was seen by someone, it would probably be shocked. While running, because the speeds of the 6 great white sharks were not even, some were fast and some were slow, and gaps began to appear. Chenmu could see this through his vision consciousness without looking back. It suddenly changed its swimming direction and rushed towards the 6 great white sharks. It avoided the attack of the great white shark in front and pounced on the 4 smaller great white sharks following behind. Swallow. As soon as their bodies touched each other, the bodies of the great white sharks turned into a ball of golden light and sank into Chenmu's body. Chenmu passed through the group of great white sharks, and the group of great white sharks naturally lost one. Chenmu turned around again and shuttled through the great white sharks again. Under the astonished gaze of the leading great white shark, the group of great white sharks that originally consisted of 6 great white sharks, only it was left. And in front of it, a great white shark that was much stronger than it stood in front of it, staring down at it. The leading great white shark's mouth was wide open. Suddenly, it turned over, its belly turned over, and it fainted. Because it was scared, it forgot to move for a while. If it didn't move, it couldn't breathe. If it couldn't breathe, it would naturally lack oxygen and faint. Seeing this scene, Chenmu was slightly startled. Did it get scared and turned upside down? "Never mind, I'm hungry too. This is a rare treat, so I'll just eat it first." Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chenwu Nian. Chapter 22. Chenmu ate the meat of the great white shark in front of him bite by bite. The taste was ordinary, not as delicious as tuna. But for Chenmu, it was just to fill his stomach, so it didn't matter. In fact, the taste of shark is very unpalatable to humans before it is cooked. The urea metabolized in the shark's body will not be excreted immediately, but will remain in the body in large quantities, which causes the shark's blood osmotic pressure to be higher than seawater. In this way, the shark can directly absorb fresh water from the seawater, and the excess will be excreted. So, the shark's urine is excreted through the skin, and its meat is full of the smell of ammonia, in short, the smell of urine. Of course, when humans eat sharks, they have to be cooked, and those smells are long gone. Add seasonings and so on, and basically there will be no such smells. But if you eat it raw, the taste is strong. However, for Chen Mu, a great white shark, the taste is different from that of humans, so when he eats it, he feels that the meat is ordinary, and he doesn't feel the smell of urine. It's almost finished. System, what is my current evolutionary energy progress? The current evolutionary energy progress is 30%. Hearing the system's reply, Chen Mu thought while swimming. 30%? When I ate these 6 great white sharks, my evolutionary energy was 10%, that is to say, the 6 great white sharks provided me with 20% of energy, and each shark provided me with an average of nearly 3% of evolutionary energy. Chen Mu continued to swim. This great white shark has much more energy than tuna, but it is much more dangerous than tuna. Chen Mu opened his consciousness and looked at his current body size. After swallowing so many great white sharks, Chen Mu's current body length is about 8 meters. This is a very amazing body size. You should know that most adult great white sharks are about 6 meters in size, and the largest recorded is a 7.2 meter shark. A body size like Chen Mu has exceeded the human record. The average size of killer whales is 8 to 10 meters. Chen Mu's current body size is just close to the size range of killer whales. It is shocking that the size of a great white shark is the same as that of a killer whale. Of course, Chen Mu, as a great white shark, is not shocked. He is not even satisfied with his size. It is still not as good as a killer whale. How can I avenge the previous revenge? Chen Mu thought for a while. It seems that I have to continue to devour. Suddenly, Chen Mu sensed the fluctuation of the water flow behind him. He was startled, came to his senses, turned around and looked at the movement behind him. Before Chen Mu used his control ability on these seals, he saw that one seal after another jumped down from the shore, dived into the water, and began to prey on nearby fish. Looking at this scene, Chen Mu was like seeing countless beef entering the hot pot. Chen Mu, who had just eaten, felt hungry again. It's just a natural buffet. Chen Mu moved and rushed towards the seals. This time, Chen Mu did not rush to eat, but chose to use the swallowing ability. When it came into contact with the seal's body turned into golden light and sank into Chen Mu's body, becoming Chen Mu's evolutionary energy. Seals are mammals with strong swimming skills, reaching 27 kilometers per hour. They are also good at diving and can dive about 100 meters. Most of their food is various fish, so they need to go to sea to hunt. Where seals appear, there will always be great white sharks patrolling nearby, presumably to hunt those seals. Of course, normal great white sharks can only pursue one seal at most, so seals go to sea in groups, sacrificing 1 or 2 seals, but more seals can survive and get food at the same time. And people like Chen Mu. Not long. Of those seals that jumped into the sea, only one was left. Chen Mu held the seal in his mouth and bit it to death, then twisted his body, tore the seal's body into pieces, and then slowly tasted it. This tastes great. This taste is very delicious. Great white sharks like creatures with high fat content, such as seals, which are naturally high in fat content, and are delicious food that great white sharks like. As a great white shark, Chen Mu felt that the seal was delicious when he tasted it. This is a perfect delicacy. It's so delicious. Chen Mu ate the seal bite by bite. After eating, Chen Mu subconsciously used his conscious vision to look around. Most of the seals that went into the sea were swallowed by Chen Mu, and a small part escaped to the shore. Chen Mu only ate one, and his stomach seemed not satisfied. He saw through his conscious vision that the seals on the shore were trembling and looking at the sea surface. With their eyesight, they probably couldn't see Chen Mu on the seabed. Wait a minute. Chen Mu looked at his fins exposed on the sea surface. Too close to the sea surface, the fins are exposed outside. After all, they can't be approached. If these seals are scared and run too far, the conscious vision can't see them, and there is no way to use the control ability. Chen Mu muttered, sinking his body to the bottom of the water, hiding his fins. System, what is my current evolution energy progress? The current evolution energy progress is 32%. Hearing the system's voice, Chen Mu's mouth twitched. 32%, too little. Chen Mu thought about it. It's okay. Seals do provide little energy for evolution, but this is where seals gather. Seals are the favorite food of great white sharks, so those great white sharks will definitely come here. I'll just wait for the sharks here, hee hee. Think and do. Chen Mu directly patrolled nearby. He controlled the seals to be automatically delivered to his mouth through his control ability, while waiting for the sharks to come. Of course, if a seal took the initiative to go into the sea, it would be a mouthful. Eat seals to fill your stomach while waiting for other sharks to come. Time passed day by day. Just like that, a week later. Chen Mu was confused. Why is this? This is where seals gather. How could great white sharks not come? Chen Mu was a little puzzled. Even if they are not interested in those seals, they should pass by one or two occasionally, but there is not one, which is strange. Do those great white sharks know I am here? Know that I will kill them? Impossible. Great white sharks have a very special ability. After a great white shark is attacked and dies, its body will emit a certain chemical substance. Other great white sharks will turn around and leave after smelling that chemical substance. This is an ability that great white sharks have acquired after millions of years of evolution. This ability can prevent the great white shark race from suffering a devastating blow. Chen Mu had eaten a great white shark here before, and the body of that great white shark emitted that chemical substance. Because it was Chen Mu who attacked, Chen Mu didn't feel anything. But the other great white sharks that originally planned to approach this place all felt that chemical substance, realized that there was danger here, and left here one after another. Of course, Chen Mu didn't know about this. Although he can use inductance, that is, through electromagnetic fields, to feel the movement of organisms, he can't identify those organisms, so naturally he doesn't know that the great white sharks nearby have already run away. No way Chen Mu could only give up waiting for the sharks and choose to look for other prey. The seals have gradually become fewer, and the evolutionary energy of seals is also less. He is not very interested. He wants something with more evolutionary energy. He swam and slowly left the place. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 23. Swimming for a while. Chen Mu saw a group of light brown creatures through his conscious vision. What is that? Chen Mu looked closer through his conscious vision. Those light brown creatures turned out to be shrimps one after another, and there were so many of them that they appeared light brown under the sunlight, and they were a very large group, which looked very shocking. Krill. Chen Mu recognized the identity of these shrimps. These shrimps were krill. There were a lot of them, but for Chen Mu, a great white shark, it was too time-consuming to prey on these small and astonishingly large krill, and the energy he could get was also very little. After all, Chen Mu was not a whale. Whales only needed to open their huge mouths and swallow a group of krill in one suck. But Chen Mu couldn't do that. So this thing was not a suitable food for Chen Mu. Chen Mu was not interested. But after seeing the krill, Chen Mu felt that there were too many of them. The number of krill was indeed large. How many krill were there? On land, the number of ants can be said to be the largest. The number of krill is more than the number of ants and humans. Krill feed on plankton, and it itself becomes food for various creatures. For example, whales, seals, penguins, various fish and various seabirds. Chen Mu retracted his gaze. This thing is not the food Chen Mu wants. He is too lazy to pay attention to these things. Although there are a large number of these things, With the nature of evolutionary energy, it is estimated that only a little evolutionary energy can be obtained from so many. Chen Mu is not interested. Continue to swim forward. Not even half an hour has passed. Chen Mu found another huge animal. That's a whale. Chen Mu observed the whale through his conscious vision. Looking at the size of the whale, its body length is about 3 times that of Chen Mu, and it is estimated to be more than 20 meters. Very huge. It seems to be a blue whale. Blue whales mainly feed on krill. It is not surprising to have blue whales where krill are found. But the reason why this blue whale attracted Chen Mu's attention was because of what was on it. The blue whale was wrapped in fishing nets. The fishing net covered the upper body of the blue whale, and some fishing lines had even been cut into the flesh of the blue whale. The blue whale was swimming, but it looked very weak. Humans often catch krill, and it is estimated that the fishing net is used to catch krill. Blue whales feed on krill, and it is estimated that it accidentally rushed into the human fishing net. The fishing net covered the upper body of the blue whale, and the mouth was also covered. From this point of view, it is estimated that the fishing net affected the blue whale's feeding, which is probably why the blue whale looks weak. As a great white shark, Chen Mu was a little emotional when he saw this scene. Humans are really hateful, harming so many marine creatures. Wait a minute. Chen Mu swung his body and approached the direction of the blue whale. In that case, the blue whale is so weak now, doesn't it mean giving me a chance? As a great white shark, Chen Mu showed an excited smile. Chen Mu swam to catch up with the blue whale. Looking at the blue whale in front of him with his naked eyes, Chen Mu could feel the weakness of the blue whale even more. When Chen Mu approached, it didn't even have a vigilance, just swam forward mindlessly. Generally speaking, as a normal great white shark, it is impossible to hunt a creature larger than itself. Especially, the blue whale in front of him is 3 times longer than Chen Mu. This means that the size of this blue whale is more than 3 times larger than Chen Mu. If this thing is a healthy blue whale, it can hit Chen Mu to death. Unfortunately, it obviously doesn't have that kind of strength now. Brother, I'll help you get rid of it, Chen Mu said. He looked at the blue whale in front of him. This blue whale is too huge. If we deal with it the same way as we deal with the great white shark, I don't know how many bites we will have to take. Chen Mu's sight moved and fell on the tail of the blue whale. Chen Mu immediately had a solution. He swam towards the tail of the blue whale and bit it. The blue whale felt pain and struggled. But the strength was very weak. Chen Mu swung his body hard and tore a piece of meat off the tail of the blue whale. All of a sudden, blood gushed out of the wound of the blue whale. Woo! A mournful cry sounded. It was the cry of the blue whale. The blue whale swam its huge body, trying to avoid Chen Mu. With its speed, it was impossible to avoid Chen Mu. Chen Mu looked at the place where the blue whale was bleeding, he retracted his sight, and swam with the blue whale calmly. If it bit the normal part, it was unknown how long it would take to bite the blue whale to death. But biting the tail of the blue whale was a weak place, and there were various veins there. Bite off that part, tear the blood vessels, and blood will gush out. In other words, as long as you wait slowly, the blue whale will die from excessive blood loss. Sure enough, Chen Mu swam with the blue whale, and less than an hour passed. The blue whale turned upside down and died from excessive blood loss. Chen Mu looked at the blue whale that he had hunted. Chen Mu was immediately excited. Eating whales, and it was a big blue whale that was so much bigger than himself. It seems that I can hunt this blue whale with the help of humans, which is really good. If more blue whales hit the fishing nets, then I don't have to worry about not being able to evolve, hee hee. Chen Mu leaned over and began to bite the blue whale, tasting the taste of the blue whale. This tastes much better than great white shark, but not as good as tuna and seal. It tastes okay. Although it didn't bring me many surprises, it was still food anyway, and it was very important to eat it to fill your stomach and gain some evolutionary energy. Chen Mu ate one bite after another. However, this thing is a bit too big. I couldn't finish it in half an hour. Once the blue whale dies, its body floats to the surface. As time went by, some seabirds also flew over, stood on the huge body of the blue whale, and began to eat. Chen Mu saw the seabirds and said, "These guys are obviously the food I hunt, why do I have to share it with you? It's really abominable. Whenever I evolve wings, I will make sure you look good," Chen Mu muttered. Chen Mu didn't say anything anymore. Since Chen Mu was already full, Chen Mu now directly tore open the fish meat and then used his devouring ability to devour it. Suddenly, through the induction, Chen Mu sensed that a group of large fish were approaching. Who's coming? Chen Mu held doubts and opened his consciousness. Take a look. Chen Mu saw a dozen great white sharks approaching. It was probably attracted by the blood of the whale. These guys didn't come here long ago or late, so now they want to come to grab food from me. Chen Mu raised his eyebrows. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 24. Chen Mu was not willing to share food with these great white sharks. Before they snatch food from me, turn them into food first. Chen Mu swam his body and watched the great white sharks that were coming through his conscious vision. Chen Mu counted them through his conscious vision and found that there were 17 great white sharks. And these great white sharks came from all directions, some fast and some slow. Chen Mu first faced the fastest great white shark. As he got closer, Chen Mu could see the great white shark with his naked eyes. But when his eyes met, the great white shark's pupils condensed slightly, and it turned around and ran away in a hurry. Chen Mu was slightly startled, looking at the great white shark that turned around and swam back like it was running away, and he was a little unresponsive for a while. What's going on? The great white shark was an adult great white shark, more than 6 meters long. But when this thing saw him, it turned around and ran away. Chen Mu felt something was wrong, and he subconsciously looked at himself. At first glance, Chen Mu was shocked. At this moment, Chen Mu's body size has reached 9 meters. A 9-meter-long great white shark has completely exceeded the normal size of a great white shark. Even larger than some adult killer whales. Obviously, Chen Mu's size increase was obtained because he ate half of a blue whale. Sure enough, the larger the target, the more evolutionary energy can be obtained, and the more evolutionary energy, the larger the body size. Chen Mu looked at his body size with satisfaction. Now this body size is larger than some adult killer whales, and Chen Mu is very satisfied. With this body size, there is no need to be afraid of those killer whales. And the reason why the adult great white shark ran away is understandable. It thought Chen Mu was going to attack it, so it chose to run away. Yes, with Chen Mu's current size, he could tear the adult great white shark into pieces with 2 bites. At this time, other great white sharks also approached the side, and those great white sharks also saw Chen Mu swimming near the whale carcass. As soon as they saw Chen Mu's huge body, the adult great white sharks turned around and ran away. Chen Mu was too lazy to pay attention to them. Now Chen Mu still had half of the blue whale meat to swallow, and the evolutionary energy was much more than the evolutionary energy provided by these great white sharks. The most important thing is that these adult great white sharks are not in a group, that is, if you want to chase them, you can only chase them one by one, which is too troublesome. Rather than chasing the great white sharks and causing the blue whale meat to be secretly eaten by other predators, it is better to eat the blue whale meat first and then talk about other things. Chen Mu ate all the remaining blue whale meat, and the blue whale was left with a skeleton. Receiving energy, the current evolutionary energy progress is 55%. Hearing this voice, Chen Mu's heart moved. When Chen Mu came over from the seal, the progress was 35%, and now it has become 55%, that is, a blue whale that is 3 times larger than himself can provide him with 20% of evolutionary energy. An adult great white shark can only provide Chenmu with 1% of energy at present, which is too big a gap. If I can catch a few more blue whales, then I can evolve. As a great white shark, what can I evolve into if I evolve again? Chenmu thought while swimming unconsciously. Human. It's unlikely. Chenmu didn't guess. But now it is certain that large whales are definitely a good thing to obtain evolutionary energy. However, it is not always as lucky as it is now to encounter a blue whale that is entangled in a fishing net and is very weak. The blue whale is the largest mammal in the world. Before human whaling technology was developed, there were more than 200,000 blue whales in the Antarctic waters alone. But as human whaling technology matured, humans began to hunt blue whales on a large scale, and the number of blue whales decreased sharply, and there was even the possibility of extinction. Later, humans carried out comprehensive protection for blue whales. At present, the number of blue whales has recovered, but the total number is only tens of thousands, far from the peak number before. Of course, this is not something that Chenmu, as a great white shark, needs to worry about. He swam and continued to move forward. Chenmu was thinking about how to evolve quickly. Hunting large whales is obviously a good choice, but the problem is that he is a great white shark, even with a huge body of 9 meters, and he is obviously not qualified to deal with those behemoths that are more than 20 meters long. A collision can kill Chenmu. Otherwise, learn the hunting skills of killer whales, get a group of great white sharks, and then hunt those large whales by number? Okay. Do it as soon as you say it. Not long after, Chenmu found a great white shark. As soon as the great white shark saw Chenmu, it immediately swam and ran desperately. Chenmu chased the uneasy great white shark at an excellent speed without panic. The great white shark shouted, "Brother, be gentle." It was the voice of a female great white shark. Female. Chenmu was stunned. Be gentle? What gentle? When great white sharks reproduce, male great white sharks will bite female great white sharks to make them cooperate. There are 4 fins under the belly of great white sharks, and the fins located on the inner side of the abdomen are called flippers, which are the mating organs of great white sharks. When the two want to reproduce, the great white shark needs to maintain balance. Great white sharks don't have hands, so the male great white shark wants to maintain balance, and uses its mouth to bite each other to balance. Because the teeth of great white sharks are very sharp, this practice will also cause injuries during reproduction. Therefore, during the breeding season, the skin of female great white sharks will be thicker than that of male great white sharks, probably to resist bites. In other words, the female great white shark in front of Chenmu is gentle because it thinks Chenmu wants to reproduce with it. Chenmu realized this and rolled his eyes. Don't talk nonsense, I'm not interested in you. Ah, then don't eat me. The female great white shark heard it and suddenly became terrified. Chenmu said, don't worry, I don't plan to eat you. Not only will I not eat you, I will also take you to have a good meal. Ah, the female great white shark looked at Chenmu. Chenmu said, I plan to form a group of great white sharks to hunt blue whales. What do you think? Are you interested? The female great white shark was stunned and looked at Chenmu. Brother, are you looking for death? Chenmu said, what do you mean by looking for death? Believe me. Look at my size. I just killed a blue whale in a single fight not long ago. Wow, so awesome. The female great white shark looked at Chenmu with admiration in her eyes. Chenmu smiled, how about it? Let's form a team. The male great white shark heard it. Okay, I'll listen to you, brother. As long as there is food to eat, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 25. Is it so direct? Chenmu said, okay, let's go and find our next companion. Great white sharks are cannibalistic and will kill each other for reasons such as territory, courtship, and food. Even when a great white shark is pregnant, the young great white shark is alive inside the body of the great white shark, and the young great white sharks that survive in the body of the female great white shark will kill other young white sharks and eat them to supplement their own nutrition. In the end, the baby great white sharks born by the female great white sharks are the strongest ones that survive the competition. The characteristic of great white sharks eating their own kind has existed since ancient times. But when it is necessary to cooperate in hunting food, great white sharks will also cooperate in groups to form a group of great white sharks to cooperate in hunting food. Therefore, if Chenmu wants to form a group of great white sharks to hunt whales, it can be done. Each adult great white shark will have its own territory. When those adult great white sharks detect that other adult great white sharks have entered their territory through electromagnetic sensing, they will attack. Chenmu took the female great white shark into the territory of an adult great white shark. The great white shark came from a distance, and when it saw the female great white shark, it showed a ferocious look. "Hey! You have intruded into my territory. Get out! Otherwise I will bite you to death." The female great white shark looked at the adult great white shark, and then looked at Chenmu beside her. Chenmu swam out from the shadows, looked at the adult great white shark, and said, "Who do you want to kill?" When the great white shark saw Chenmu, its pupils widened. "Is it so big?" Suddenly, the great white shark suddenly turned around and ran away. Chenmu quickly chased after him and blocked the great white shark's path. "You brat, you're still moving. Believe it or not, I'll bite you to death," Chenmu said viciously. Great white shark immediately looked in pain and said, "Boss, I don't want to move. If I don't move, I won't be able to breathe." 2. Great white sharks need to swim in the sea all the time. If they don't move, they won't be able to breathe. Chenmu said, "I plan to form a group of great white sharks and hunt whales. Are you interested?" Hunting whales. Jaws was thinking. Chenmu continued, "If you don't join, I will eat you." "I'll join," Jaws said quickly. Chenmu said, "Let's go." Chenmu took 2 great white sharks to look for the next great white shark. Soon, I found the third one. Chenmu showed off his huge figure, and then said loudly, "Join my group of great white sharks, or you will die." "Ah, brother, don't bite me, I'll join." After finding the 4th item, Chenmu spoke up. "Join in. Brother, don't bite me. I will do whatever you ask me to do." After finding the 5th item, it spoke first before Chenmu could say anything. "Wow, so many big brothers, what are you going to do?" "Count me in." Chenmu fell into silence. Find item 6. The great white shark directly joined Chenmu's team. Under Chenmu's coercion and inducement, Chenmu's group of great white sharks increased in number. Soon they arrived at 20, and together with Chenmu, there was a group of 21 great white sharks. Schools of great white sharks roar across the ocean. Chenmu wants to find a whale, which is nothing to Chenmu who has the ability of electromagnetic sensing. The electromagnetic field possessed by whales is so large that it can be sensed from tens of thousands of kilometers away. As long as you look for one with a large electromagnetic field, you can find whales. Woo! Suddenly, the cry of a whale came from the direction of Chenmu's target. Hearing this voice, Chenmu speeded up. The fins of 21 great white sharks were exposed from the water, whizzing towards the target. Not long after, Chenmu saw a huge creature with a body length of 15 meters, swimming in the sea. Humpback whale. Chenmu recognized the identity of the whale. Humpback whales are large whales that, like most whales, feed on plankton, small fish, and shrimps. Chenmu's location is close to the Antarctic of the Earth. There are a large number of krill here in the Antarctic, which happens to be the food source of humpback whales. Chenmu said, "Come on, talk when you find an opportunity." As he said that, he swam over first. Although it is only 6 meters longer than Chenmu, Body length does not mean body size. The overall size of this humpback whale is much larger than Chen Mu. Although most of these great white sharks were brought together by Chen Mu's coercion and inducement, when Chen Mu was about to take action, they moved very neatly. As soon as Chen Mu moved, they followed. Their skillful movements reveal their predatory nature. The humpback whale seemed to realize something and began to make a long sound. Ugh! The sound is very long. It made a sound while swimming away, obviously planning to escape. But humpback whales are obviously not as fast as great white sharks. Chen Mu pounced on the humpback whale and greeted directly to the tail end of the humpback whale. With one bite, other great white sharks also pounced and bit into the humpback whale. The humpback whale struggled violently. A flick of the tail. Chen Mu used his strength to tear off a piece of fish. Bang! Accompanied by a muffled sound. Chen Mu was hit by the tail of a humpback whale. The whole body flew out. Fly some distance. Chen Mu felt as if all the internal organs in his body had been displaced, and he felt very uncomfortable. Chen Mu shook his head, came back to his senses, and looked at the humpback whale entangled by the great white shark. This thing is too powerful. If there weren't so many great white sharks, I would probably be tossed to death by its tail alone, Chen Mu muttered. But now there are so many great white sharks. Under the harassment and attack of these great white sharks, the humpback whale has no way to target any great white shark. Retreat, Chen Mu gave the order. The great white sharks that were biting fiercely heard Chen Mu's order, loosened their mouths one by one, and returned to Chen Mu. Boss, why are you retreating? A great white shark next to him came over and asked. Chen Mu said, we just need to leave a wound on it and let it bleed slowly. When it loses too much blood, we will attack it. There is no need to fight this stupid big guy head on. He is not like these stupid sharks. If he fights head on, he will be hit by its tail a few more times when this humpback whale struggles. It is estimated that it will turn over in a few days. So, Chen Mu's strategy is to bite it and bleed it. The boss is worthy of being the boss. He is really smart, the great white shark said directly. Chen Mu retracted his gaze. This group of great white sharks can flatter. Is this a prank of the system, or is this group of great white sharks flattering? The reason is unknown. Groups of great white sharks followed the humpback whale with blood all over its body. Because the blood in the humpback whale's body has been flowing out, its expression has become very weak, and the sound it makes is getting lower and lower. Follow for about an hour. Chen Mu said, do it. He pounced. The 20 great white sharks behind him also rushed forward following Chen Mu. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 26. All of a sudden, the already weak humpback whale was torn into pieces and bitten to death. The great white sharks had lost their rationality due to the stimulation of blood. When they saw the humpback whale die, they began to eat. Chen Mu did not stop them. He also went over and started eating. Only with these great white sharks, the group formed can hunt whales. With whale meat, Chen Mu can quickly obtain evolutionary energy. If you want these great white sharks to work for you, you must fill their stomachs. This is inevitable. Chen Mu is not stupid. Naturally, he would not think that if he did not feed these great white sharks, he would still want them to follow him. A humpback whale was quickly eaten into a skeleton by 21 great white sharks. Evolution system, what is the current evolutionary energy progress? The current evolutionary energy progress is 61%. In other words, after the humpback whale in front of him shared it with these great white sharks, it also provided him with 6% of evolutionary energy. Not bad. This is much better than the single-digit evolution progress he made after staying with the seals for a week. Woo! Suddenly, Chen Mu heard a sound. Hearing this sound, Chen Mu subconsciously looked towards the source of the sound. He saw more than 10 humpback whales rushing towards the side. They were calling and rushing towards the side. Seeing this, Chen Mu said, "Retreat." Chen Mu led the 20 great white sharks to swim away from the crime scene. More than 10 adult humpback whales. If Chen Mu wanted to go head-to-head with these more than 10 humpback whales that were close to 15 meters long, that would be like a tuna picking the teeth of a great white shark, looking for death. Just run first. The more than 10 humpback whales swam around the skeleton of the humpback whale, making a low sound at the same time. Listening to this sound, Chen Mu's eyebrows stretched slightly. Humpback whales are highly social creatures. Generally, creatures are selfish and do things for their own food and their own territory. But the humpback whale will make an altruistic move. There is evidence that when the humpback whale hears the sound of the killer whale hunting other small creatures, the nearby humpback whales will arrive quickly, drive away the killer whale group and save the weak creatures. These more than 10 adult humpback whales obviously heard the wailing of the humpback whale attacked by Chen Mu, so they came here. Obviously, they were slow, probably too far away. Lucky, if they were closer, I guess this hunt would not be so easy, Chen Mu muttered. Chen Mu thought for a while, these more than 10 adult humpback whales are too many. If I can swallow them all, I think I can evolve, but I don't think I can do it yet. Chen Mu retracted his gaze. Humpback whales like to live in groups, and they often appear in groups. The humpback whale Chen Mu encountered was a lone one. It is easy to kill a lone one, but it is not so easy to deal with a group. Chen Mu can only use his induction ability to find the next lone whale. Most whales like to live in groups, but they may be alone. If they are alone, they will be the buffet provided by the sea. "Boss, you can't go there." Suddenly, a voice came. Hearing this voice, Chen Mu looked at the great white shark beside him. The great white shark came over and said, "I passed by here before. There is a group of killer whales here. We can't go here. It's very dangerous." If the great white shark has a natural enemy, then the killer whale can definitely be ranked as the #1 natural enemy. If the killer whale sees the great white shark, it will attack the great white shark. They will kill the great white shark and eat its liver, but not its meat. For killer whales, the meat of the great white shark is not their favorite food. They are only interested in the liver of the great white shark. It is common for killer whales to hunt great white sharks, so the great white shark will automatically avoid the place where the killer whale group is. But this time, when the great white shark said that there was a group of killer whales here, Chen Mu's eyes lit up. At present, Chen Mu's body size is close to 10 meters. This body size has exceeded most adult killer whales. In other words, Chen Mu's swallowing ability can already have an effect on those killer whales. Although the opponent is a group of killer whales, what can the killer whale group do with Chen Mu's speed? Chen Mu said, "Before, have you been bullied by killer whales often? Do you want to bully killer whales?" "I want to, but boss, this is not possible. There are many killer whales in that group of killer whales, and they are all bigger than us." The great white shark was a little scared. Chen Mu smiled, "It is bigger than you, but it does not mean it is bigger than me." Chen Mu said, "In a while, when you encounter a group of killer whales, you stay away and leave it to me. I will show you a good show." Chen Mu was immediately looking forward to it. If you encounter those killer whale groups, how much evolutionary energy can you get? It is estimated that it is less than large whales like blue whales, but it will definitely not be less than great white sharks, and the number is. Chen Mu is very much looking forward to it. Chen Mu led the great white sharks into the sea where the killer whales were. Chen Mu used his consciousness vision. Chen Mu's consciousness vision has evolved, and he can see everything within 1,000 meters. All of a sudden, Chen Mu saw a group of killer whales. According to the information given to Chen Mu by the great white shark next to him, there were 16 killer whales in that group of killer whales. At this moment, they were swimming happily in the sea, sometimes skimming out of the water and landing on the ground, creating a splash of water. There were a total of 16, 12 of which were smaller than Chen Mu, and the other 4 were slightly larger than Chen Mu. It's time for revenge, Chen Mu didn't forget. Before, the killer whales took away their food, and when they were hunting tuna, they were forcibly driven away by these killer whales. This made Chen Mu very unhappy. Now it's finally time for revenge. These killer whales must die. Chen Mu shook his huge body and approached the position of the killer whale group. Those killer whales also noticed Chen Mu's presence and looked at Chen Mu one by one. Chen Mu looked back at the great white sharks behind him. Those great white sharks had Chen Mu's orders, so they were far away. They swam slowly in the distance, looking at this side. Chen Mu retracted his sight and continued to swim forward. The 16 killer whales in the killer whale group changed their swimming direction and rushed directly towards Chen Mu. Chen Mu swam forward. The group of killer whales rushed towards Chen Mu. Watching the killer whales approaching, Chen Mu stared at the killer whales coming towards him. The killer whales were slightly smaller than him. The killer whales didn't seem to be stupid. Seeing Chen Mu coming, they chose to dodge and keep their distance. But Chen Mu chased after them directly. His speed was much faster than that of the killer whales. As soon as they caught up, Chen Mu's body touched the killer whales. Swallow. The killer whale's body turned into golden light and sank into Chen Mu's body. It was swallowed by Chen Mu. Chen Mu looked at the remaining killer whales and raised his mouth. The revenge hunt begins. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 27. Chen Mu pounced on another smaller killer whale. Before the killer whale could react, Chen Mu approached. After all, Chen Mu's speed was enhanced by the system, and he could move at twice the speed of a great white shark. With this speed bonus, the killer whale naturally could not escape. As soon as Chen Mu approached, he touched. The killer whale also turned into golden light and was swallowed by Chen Mu. The other 14 killer whales saw this, although they didn't quite understand what happened, but they were still angry when they saw their companion disappear. The 14 killer whales rushed towards Chen Mu with a roar. This time, they opened their mouths wide, looking as if they wanted to bite Chen Mu directly into pieces. But their speed was obviously not as fast as Chen Mu. Chen Mu moved, dodged, and then touched and swallowed. All in one go. When Chen Mu swallowed the 14 killer whales that were smaller than him, his body length had exceeded that of the killer whales, reaching a shocking 11 meters. Chen Mu devoured one of them, leaving only the last killer whale. Face to face with Chen Mu. The killer whale didn't care about that at all. It made a cry. Woo! Then it rushed towards Chen Mu. It was obvious that Chen Mu was bigger than it, but it still chose to pounce on Chen Mu. The IQ of killer whales is equivalent to that of a 15-year-old human. They are very smart. They can cooperate with each other and with humans. At the same time, they value their companions very much. There was an incident. A group of killer whales inexplicably began to attack a sailboat, especially the propeller. They only attacked the sailboat and not humans. Later, some scientists went to investigate. It was found that among the killer whales, one killer whale had strange spiral-like scars on its body. Those scars looked like scars deep into the bones left by the propeller. After that investigation, the scientists determined that the reason why the killer whales attacked the sailboat was to avenge their companions. In the eyes of those killer whales, it was the propeller of the sailboat that hurt their companions, so when they saw the sailboat, they were very angry and used various attack methods, such as collision, biting, etc. just to avenge their companions. and Chen Mu's attack left only one killer whale out of the 16 killer whales in front of him. The killer whale didn't know that his companion had died, but he knew that the great white shark in front of him must have done something bad to his companion. Knowing that he might do the same, the killer whale still rushed towards Chen Mu without hesitation, opening his bloody mouth, biting Chen Mu, wanting to avenge his companions. Chen Mu swam to avoid the killer whale. His body came to the side of the killer whale, opened his mouth, and bit the killer whale. Swallow. The killer whale's body turned into golden light and was slowly swallowed by Chen Mu. Receiving energy, the current progress of evolutionary energy is 100%. Hearing this prompt, Chen Mu's eyes lit up slightly. So fast? The killer whale's evolutionary energy was beyond Chen Mu's expectations. Chen Mu's evolutionary energy was only over 50% before, but now it is full. A golden light enveloped Chen Mu's body. This time, just like the great white shark, Chen Mu was not transported away. Instead, he evolved directly. The great white sharks next to him were already stunned. My goodness, the boss is too powerful, right? A great white shark killed 16 killer whales. Did they kill them? Those killer whales seemed to have turned into light, and then disappeared. What happened? I don't know, it's strange. Why did our boss also turn into light? The great white sharks all looked at the scene with confusion. As time passed, the golden light slowly dissipated. Chen Mu came back to his senses. He looked around, but found that the great white sharks under his command were wandering around him, staring at him with doubts and confusion. Chen Mu muttered, "Is it still in the same place? What did I evolve into this time?" Thinking about it, Chen Mu came back to his senses and looked at himself through his conscious vision. At first glance, Chen Mu's pupils condensed slightly. Through his conscious vision, he saw what he looked like at the moment. The upper body was pure black, the belly was white, and above the eyes, an oval white area could be seen, like two large eyes painted on. This looked like a giant panda in the ocean. Killer whale. And the body length had also become about 2.5 meters, looking like a newly born killer whale. Chen Mu took a deep breath. Although he had thought that he would become a killer whale after evolving from a great white shark, he couldn't help but be shocked when he really found out that he had become a killer whale. "It's okay," Chen Mu muttered. In any case, the killer whale is a true overlord of the ocean, and it is also a mammal, which is one step closer to his goal, humans, although it is not known whether it can evolve into humans in the end. But compared to the great white shark, the killer whale is obviously cuter, more powerful, and closer to humans. Wait a minute, Chen Mu suddenly came back to his senses, and he noticed that the great white sharks wandering around him were staring at Chen Mu. If I become a killer whale, then these guys will treat me as food, right? In order to prevent being swallowed by his own men, Chen Mu used his transformation ability and turned into a great white shark. Although the size is still more than 2 meters, it can't go back to the past, but after becoming a great white shark, it has the ability to communicate with these guys. Chen Mu said, "Don't stare at me, I am your boss, don't forget." Huh, the great white shark that was a little close to Chen Mu made a surprised sound. "Boss, is that killer whale you, boss? I was just wondering why you were wrapped in golden light and turned into a killer whale." Chen Mu said, "Well, that's it, then this is the situation, I don't plan to hunt whales, you can go back to your territory." Ah! Now Chen Mu has evolved into a killer whale. Since he has evolved into a killer whale, of course he will go to play with killer whales, so that his body will grow faster. And killer whales are also very united creatures, which are easier to communicate and use. These great sharks, just let them go. More importantly, who knows if these things will suddenly bite themselves when they are hungry. Now Chen Mu's small body can't stand the teeth of these things. After Chen Mu asked them to disperse, he swam away on his own. He had to find the team again. Thinking of this, Chen Mu made a sound. Woo! Killer whales are masters of sound in the animal world. They can make 62 kinds of sounds. Each sound represents a different meaning. The sound Chen Mu made at this moment was a sound to communicate with the nearby killer whale group. If other killer whales heard this sound, they would respond to Chen Mu. In this way, Chen Mu could find the killer whale group. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 28. Chen Mu just made a sound. The voices of other killer whales came from afar. We are here, make a sound, and we will rush over to pick you up. Hearing this voice, Chen Mu was stunned for a moment. He reacted, and it was obvious that this was the translation made by the system for Chen Mu. Chen Mu swam towards the source of the sound. He made a sound, I'm here. How many killer whales do you have over there? The voice of the killer whale in the distance came slowly. Chen Mu explained, there is only one, I was just chased by a great white shark and was left alone. Damn great white shark, be careful, we will be there soon. The killer whale over there sounded a little anxious. It seemed to be afraid that something would happen to Chen Mu. Hearing this voice, Chen Mu had a strange feeling. These killer whales are too humane, right? Not long after, Chen Mu saw a group of killer whales through his consciousness. This group of killer whales had more than 20 killer whales. Groups of killer whales were swimming quickly towards the side. At this moment, a voice sounded in Chen Mu's mind. Congratulations on your successful evolution. Evolution rewards you with race eating. Race eating. The system's voice sounded, race eating. When the biological group you are in is preying, the energy obtained by your companion's predation will help you gain evolutionary energy, but after obtaining the ability of race eating, the predation of the same kind on the same kind will not gain evolutionary energy. Chen Mu's eyes lit up slightly. Meaning, if Chen Mu joins the killer whale group in front of him, the other killer whales in the killer whale group will also bring evolutionary energy to Chen Mu when they eat. Isn't this too cool? However, to use this race-eating ability, you need to enter the killer whale group in front of you. How to join? The group of killer whales in front has arrived. After seeing Chen Mu, they swam around Chen Mu. Wow, what a small killer whale. So cute. So cute. What a small and cute killer whale. Chen Mu heard the sounds made by the killer whales next to him. The sound was the voice of a young woman, and it was estimated that it was made by a female killer whale. They seemed to be very interested in Chen Mu. At this time, Chen Mu saw an adult female killer whale swimming out and came to Chen Mu, I am the leader of this killer whale group. We will protect you. You are safe now. Where are you and your people separated? We will take you to find your people. Leader, female. They are like a civilization living on the earth. At present, the killer whale society is a matriarchal society. All killer whale groups are managed by a female whale as a leader. Chen Mu said, we were attacked by a group of great white sharks. My people were eaten. Now I am the only one left. Poor. So pitiful. Such a cute little killer whale has to go through this. So pitiful. The killer whales next to him cast pitiful eyes. The female killer whale said, is that so? It's okay. We will avenge your people. You can follow us later. Leader, let me protect this little killer whale. A voice sounded, and an adult female killer whale swam and looked at this side. No, sister, let me do it. Let me do it. I have taken care of many children and I am experienced. Grandma, let me do it. All of a sudden, Chen Mu felt that the surroundings became noisy. The female killer whales were vying to protect Chen Mu one by one. Chen Mu never expected that after he became a killer whale, he would be so popular in this killer whale group. The leader killer whale looked at a female killer whale next to him and said, you come. Okay, the female killer whale seemed a little happy. It swam and came to Chen Mu and said, "You will follow your sister in the future. Your sister will teach you various hunting skills and protect your safety." Chen Mu nodded. Young killer whales will be raised by adult female killer whales. Even if the young killer whale is not the child of the female killer whale, the female killer whale will be responsible for raising it. Members of the killer whale group will help each other. Look nearby for those damn great white sharks that hurt our companions. Find the great white shark group and we will avenge our companions. The leader killer whale was obviously unhappy. Killer whales attach great importance to their companions. Knowing that their companions were attacked by great white sharks, they will definitely think of revenge. Killer whales are a kind of dolphin. The way they find their targets is naturally echolocation. They can use echolocation and sound reception to form a 3D stereoscopic picture in their heads, analyze the number and size of the target, etc. Through echolocation, they can find the great white shark group. Unfortunately, they can't find the great white shark group, because the great white shark group has been disbanded by Chen Mu. Without Chen Mu, the leader, they dare not step into the gathering place of the killer whale group. Leader, we didn't find them. No. There's none around here. The leader killer whale heard this and said, "Did they run away? Those guys run really fast. Next time we meet them, we must tear them apart alive to avenge our companions." Yes. Little guy, your voice is almost exactly the same as our family's. The elder sister killer whale came over and said to Chen Mu. Chen Mu was startled. Ah. Each killer whale family has its own dialect. That's right, you haven't heard of it? Killer whales communicate through sounds, and the frequencies of sounds emitted by different killer whale families vary. This is the data recorded by scientists. The sounds of each killer whale family are different, just like local dialects. Killer whales are chatterboxes in the animal world. When they have nothing to do, they always like to talk a lot. The elder sister killer whale looked at Chen Mu's cute appearance, and she smiled. "It's okay, are you hungry?" "Hungry?" Chen Mu's eyes lit up. "There's food." Chen Mu said, "I'm hungry, so hungry, I haven't eaten for a long time." The elder sister killer whale heard it and hurriedly looked at the other killer whales. The other killer whales heard it and hurriedly looked at the leader killer whale. The leader killer whale saw it and said directly, "Let's go to our food storage room." Hearing this, Chen Mu was stunned. Food storage room? Are these killer whales spirits? Groups of killer whales swam and took Chen Mu to their food storage room. There was a deep-sea iceberg in front. Fish were stuffed into the cracks of the iceberg one after another. There were all kinds of fish, such as herring, tuna, etc. Chen Mu was a little stunned for a while. Killer whales will store the excess fish they catch in the cracks of the iceberg. The cracks in the iceberg are the natural food storage room of killer whales. "Eat it," the leader killer whale said to Chen Mu. Chen Mu was a little confused when he heard it. The sister killer whale next to him swam over, took a tuna out of the crack, and then swallowed it in one gulp. It looked at Chen Mu. "Just eat it like this, come on." Chen Mu said, "Okay." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 29. Chen Mu started eating. There are many fish hidden in the cracks of these icebergs. Chen Mu ate them one by one. Other killer whales looked at Chen Mu. So cute. It's so small. Looking at its size, it should be a newborn. But he's so smart. He can talk a lot when he's just born. Yeah, the most important thing is that he's so cute. Listening to the discussions next to him and feeling the eyes of the killer whales, Chen Mu's mouth twitched. Killer whales are generally mostly females, and adult females generally account for 20% of the killer whale group. Therefore, in this killer whale group consisting of only more than 20 killer whales, there are only 5 adult females. Those who spoke were all female killer whales. Killer whales are highly social creatures. Among the currently known creatures, killer whales are considered by some people to be creatures with an IQ second only to humans. They take good care of their cubs. When there is food, they would rather starve themselves than share their food with their cubs. Chen Mu ate all the food hidden in the cracks of the icebergs. "Are you full?" Sister killer whale came over. Chen Mu said, "Still hungry." The food was too little, and even after eating so much, Chen Mu's evolutionary energy progress did not increase at all. Sister killer whale swam and looked at the killer whales behind her. Those killer whales looked at the leader killer whale together. The leader killer whale saw this and said, "Let's go hunting." It swam, and the other killer whales followed. Chen Mu followed sister killer whale. But it didn't take long. Chen Mu suddenly felt dizzy. Sister killer whale suddenly approached Chen Mu, used her head to support Chen Mu's body, and lifted Chen Mu up. Chen Mu was stunned. "What are you doing? You have been diving for too long, you have to go up to breathe," sister killer whale answered. Chen Mu was stunned, and he came back to his senses. He almost forgot. Killer whales are mammals, not great white sharks. They need to breathe with their lungs, and the blowhole of killer whales is just above their heads. They are like humans. They need to surface to breathe after diving in the water for a while. The reason why Chen Mu felt dizzy just now was because he hadn't breathed for too long. Although killer whales are different from humans, they also need at least 5 or 6 hours of sleep a day. But when killer whales give birth to babies, because the children need to be taken care of, killer whales will choose to forcibly accompany the children to cultivate immortality for a month. In this month, they stay up all night and stay with the children. When the children need to breathe, they use their heads to float to the surface of the sea to exhale, and at the same time be alert to other predators. Pushing the cubs to the surface of the sea and letting them exhale is the nature of all killer whales. Interestingly, if killer whales see humans fall into the water, they will not only lift the humans out of the water to prevent them from drowning, but will even take the humans to find other boats to rescue them. Chen Mu was pushed to the surface of the sea to breathe. With this breath, Chen Mu's dizziness disappeared. He felt refreshed immediately. Chen Mu saw that the other killer whales were very close to the sea surface. When they swam, half of their bodies were exposed, revealing their huge fins. He followed the killer whales and continued to swim forward. "Where are we going?" Chen Mu looked at his followers. The elder sister killer whale said, "There is a group of herrings in front, which can give you a good meal." Although the elder sister killer whale could not see, it could easily judge what was in front through its skilled echolocation ability. All of a sudden, it knew that the leader killer whale was going to take them to hunt something. "Hey, hey, look!" Suddenly, a voice sounded next to him. Chen Mu came back to his senses and found that the elder sister killer whale was swimming. It rushed into the seaweed group in front and hooked the seaweed with a notch. After a while, the huge body was covered by seaweed. It swam and said, "How is it? Is it fun?" Chen Mu's mouth twitched. Is this guy an idiot? He looked away. Not fun. Killer whales are very energetic creatures and very naughty. They like to play. Some use seaweed as toys. Wait a while, when you are full, I will teach you how to hunt near the coast. The elder sister killer whale came over and said with a chuckle. It seemed that she wanted to show her skills to Chen Mu. Adult females will be responsible for the safety of the cubs, and at the same time train and teach the cubs various hunting techniques. And then, the killer whales are still talkative. So, Chen Mu had a headache. During the time from the departure of the killer whale group to the capture of the herring school, not only the elder sister killer whale talked to Chen Mu, but also other killer whales came over, rubbing Chen Mu, and then talking about some very boring things. Chirping. Chen Mu responded intermittently. The herring school was not far from the killer whale school, much closer than when Chen Mu was looking for other prey before. But facing the chattering of the killer whales around him, Chen Mu felt that time was passing so slowly. Finally, Chen Mu saw the herring school. Looking at the herring school in front of him, Chen Mu's eyes lit up slightly. This was a huge herring school, estimated to be composed of 1,000,000 herrings. "Watch how we hunt them," watch Sister Killer Whale said. Then under Chen Mu's gaze, Chen Mu saw that the killer whales moved in tacit understanding. They surrounded this huge herring school. But this herring school is too big, it is not so easy to surround it. Some herring schools are about to escape. Suddenly, Chen Mu saw that when the killer whales were breathing, bubbles burst out of their respiratory tract. After those bubbles flew out, the herring school could have escaped, but seeing these bubbles, they retreated one by one, and then gathered together again. Chen Mu's eyes were wide open. These killer whales used the bubbles of their breathing to surround these herring schools. "Drive them up," the leader killer whale said. All the killer whales tacitly drove the herring school up. There were a lot of herring schools, but because of the killer whales' encirclement, they gathered smaller and smaller, and looked like a huge fishball. The herrings had to go up, and some had already run to the surface of the sea. At this time, some killer whales slapped the sea surface with their tails. The waves roared and hit the herrings on the periphery. The herrings were directly knocked unconscious. The other killer whales also started to move. Using their tails to create waves, they knocked out the herrings on the periphery one by one. "It's time to eat," the elder sister whale looked at Chen Mu and said, "Eat." Chen Mu was a little stunned. This hunting technique is too shocking, isn't it? Chen Mu didn't think much about it. He started to swim and eat the stunned herrings one by one. There were other cubs in the killer whale group, and they also joined the meal. The number of herrings was slowly decreasing. Chen Mu had almost eaten and said, "I'm full." Upon hearing this, the other adult killer whales also started to eat. Before long, the herrings were wiped out. Only a small part escaped, but most of them were eaten. Millions of herrings were gone just like that. Become a sea squirt larva and eat a brain first. Author, Chen Wunian. Chapter 30. The killer whales are eating. When these killer whales devoured these herrings, Chen Mu heard the system's prompt. Energy is being received, and the current evolutionary energy progress is 0.1%. Chen Mu was no longer eating, but these killer whales were eating, but Chen Mu could still receive evolutionary energy. The effect of this thing is still good for the species to eat together. But a school of 1,000,000 herrings is only 0.1%. That's 1,000,000 herrings. If Chen Mu were alone, he would not be able to eat all of these herrings even with his extremely fast speed. With the ability of one person, most of these herrings would escape because they were not surrounded, and Chen Mu could only eat a small part. It's easier to get things done with more people. However, 1,000,000 herrings can only provide such a small amount of evolutionary energy, which still gave Chen Mu a headache. "Let's go, I'll take you to the offshore to catch seals," Sister Killer Whale approached Chen Mu with great interest and said to Chen Mu. Chen Mu listened. "Catch seals near the coast?" Chen Mu said, "What about the others, killer whales?" It said, "Some of them want to teach their children to hunt, and some want to go out to play. I can teach you." Chen Mu thought about it. Before, Chen Mu didn't know how to catch seals, which resulted in only a few energy progress in a week. Now that he has become a killer whale, it seems that more evolutionary energy is needed. If you can learn hunting skills, you can catch seals faster and get evolutionary energy. At present, 1,000,000 herrings only have 0.1% of evolutionary energy, which means that if you want to get evolutionary energy, it will take more than 1 or 2 days. You can only do it slowly. While thinking, Chen Mu followed the sister killer whale to the gathering place of seals. On the way, the sister killer whale saw a piece of floating ice. It looked at Chen Mu and said, "I'll show you a powerful show, you look at that piece of floating ice." As she said that, the sister killer whale suddenly stood up, then swam, and suddenly dived. On the sea, a wave suddenly swayed. The wave slammed violently, hitting the floating ice. The small floating ice was smashed into pieces by the waves. The elder sister killer whale looked at Chen Mu and said, "Isn't it amazing? If there is a seal on the floating ice, it will be directly photographed and become our food, hee hee." Chen Mu saw his eyes light up slightly, and he subconsciously looked at the female killer whale. It seems that this female killer whale is not just a chatterbox, but also useful. Half an hour later, Chen Mu and the elder sister killer whale came to the coast. In front of them was a coast covered with snow. A group of seals were resting on the coast. "Look at me," the elder sister killer whale swam. Under Chen Mu's gaze, it swam and pounced on the seals on the shore at a very fast speed. "Hey," Chen Mu subconsciously said. "This guy is crazy." It jumped out of the sea directly and flew directly to the shore. The seals near the sea were startled, and one of them didn't react. It was bitten by the killer whale directly. Success. The killer whale made a sound, and the content of the sound translated as success. "Hey, did you see it?" the elder sister killer whale greeted Chen Mu. Chen Mu was in the sea, looking at the elder sister killer whale lying on the beach, completely stranded, and was silent for a while. "This guy, I'm afraid he's a fool." Chen Mu said, "It's bitten, the question is how do you get back?" "Simple, just like that." The elder sister killer whale flapped its tail. Seeing its movements, Chen Mu understood. There are records that some killer whales will actively strand themselves to hunt seals when hunting seals, and then use their tails to move their bodies back to the sea. But here comes the problem. Chen Mu noticed that when the female killer whale in front of him wanted to move her body, her tail touched the ground, but because the ground was too soft, it was difficult for her to move her body, and when she just rushed out, the distance was too far, resulting in, unable to move. After the elder sister killer whale struggled, it suddenly said, "I seem to be stranded." Chen Mu's mouth twitched. "This is really a fool." "It's okay, don't worry." The elder sister killer whale didn't seem to care at all. It said, "I can call other killer whales over so that they can come up to help me." As it said, it made a high-frequency sound, calling the nearby killer whales. Hearing this sound, Chen Mu could see countless killer whales approaching the side through his consciousness. "Little guy, you are here too." A male killer whale arrived earlier. As soon as he saw Chen Mu, he immediately greeted him. This male killer whale was obviously one of the members of the previous killer whale group. Chen Mu hummed, "It taught me to hunt, but it got stranded." When the adult male killer whale heard it, he raised his face and looked at the elder sister killer whale lying on the beach. He said, "It's a small matter, I'll help it." As it said, it swam its body and pounced on the shore like the elder sister killer whale. Seeing this, Chen Mu immediately became interested. Killer whales have a strong sense of family identity and like to help their own kind. When a killer whale is stranded, it will make a sound to call other killer whales to help, and other killer whales will come to help when they hear the sound. They will climb onto the shore together, and then use their bodies to push their companions back to the sea. Chen Mu watched the male killer whale rush onto the shore, and then it moved like the sister killer whale, trying to move its body with its tail. Then, it couldn't move either. "I seem to be stranded too," the male killer whale said calmly. Chen Mu's mouth twitched. "It's okay, we can ask our companions for help," the male killer whale said calmly. In this way, more and more killer whales came after hearing the news. Then, under Chen Mu's gaze, one killer whale after another was stranded on the beach. 13 killer whales were all lying on the beach, unable to move. This scene was particularly shocking to others. It also made Chen Mu feel a little shattered. It's not easy for these guys to survive until now. Killer whales occasionally get stranded collectively. When the group was stranded, most of the time it was because the killer whales chose to strand themselves to rescue other companions, and as a result, one after another stranded, just like what Chen Mu saw now. If these 13 killer whales in front of him were not helped, they would probably die directly. So what should we do? Some of the 13 killer whales in front of him were from other killer whale groups, and some were from Chen Mu's killer whale group. If they all stranded and died, then Chen Mu's speed of obtaining evolutionary energy would be much slower. Suddenly, Chen Mu saw a group of killer whales rushing over here through his consciousness. This is... Chen Mu recognized that group of killer whales at once. It was his killer whale group, and the one leading that group of killer whales now was the leader. They probably heard the sound and came to rescue their companions. After seeing them, Chen Mu's heart moved. There is a way.